Hi there, I'm Dirk Groeneveld from Client Care. And today we're going to talk about what is a real return and why it's important to understand what that is. So in our industry there's a very high focus on returns, and if you open the financial magazine you'll see everyone advertising that they have the best returns over some time, and we're talking about 10, 12, 15, 20% returns. What is important, however, is what this return means to you and your financial plan and your goals that you're actually trying to achieve. So instead of looking at a 10 or 12 or 15% return, what really you should be focused on is the real return that you are getting. So what is a real return? Well, a real return is the return that you're getting over inflation. Inflation is the greatest enemy for any investor. So we need to be outperforming inflation. As an example, if inflation was sitting at 5% and you're getting a 10% return, that equates to a 5% real return. This is what's important. What is also important is that that is a real return after tax. So in other words, if you're saving at the bank and you may be getting a 7 or 8% return after tax, depending on your tax rate, you could very well be keeping up with inflation or even falling behind. So the next question would be, where will I get a real return? And history shows us that over time, in the long run, the place that you're going to get real returns is in the equity market, that is in the share market. So to achieve a real return in the long run, you have to have a certain amount of exposure to the equity market. So in summary, it's important that we understand why we have to get a real return. And to get a real return, you have to be exposed to the equity market, which in turn does mean that there's going to be volatility in your portfolio. Remember, stay invested, don't try and time the market, but it's time in the market that counts.